Do you dream about adventure, but life gets in the way with family, jobs, and all the other responsibilities? It's so easy to press pause or push it off for someday. Well, what if 2026 could be different? Today, we're announcing our 2026 destinations and a very special offer.
Welcome to the What Could Go Right podcast. We are your hosts, Erik, Orton.
And I'm Emily Orton.
And here we talk about personal growth and sailing. In 2014, we moved aboard a fixer-upper sailboat and bootstrapped a year sailing with our 5 kids, and it changed our lives forever.
We tell the whole story in our memoir, our book, 7 at Sea. On this podcast, we want to help you go from fear to freedom, one adventure at a time. A lot of people, probably if you're listening to this podcast, you're one of them, dream about adventures, and whether it's traveling to a far off place or learning a new skill or just breaking free from the sameness of your daily life and shaking things up a little bit. You may dream about that too. I know we do. But the truth is we often get stuck just because things come up. Things are so close to us and we feel like we have to attend to them right now. And we can kind of always like push things off to the future. I don't know. It's a crazy thing about the human mind, beautiful and frustrating, that we always imagine things will be better in the future. And it's hopeful, but it also can sometimes make it hard to take advantage of the present moment. Because we're like, well, there will be a better opportunity. Today we have some incredible opportunities, and we've been holding out, waiting till we had everything in line, and we're super excited to announce our 2026.
Yes, we are. And before we dive in, just to what you're saying, I think it's Stephen Covey who says we prioritize the urgent over the important. And whatever is feeling urgent, pressing, but it could be somebody else's urgent, or whatever just feels like, I got to get this done or else. We do that at the expense of the important. And we're going to put sailing in the important category, if that's okay, because we think it's good for the soul. It's good for your body. It's good for your mind. It's good for your heart.
Could be good for your relationships.
Could be. And so whether you sail with us or somewhere else or with somebody else, hopefully if that's something that is, you're feeling it in your heart, in your body, that you make it happen somehow for you. So, okay, our 2026 schedule. I'm going to read off the dates here in a moment. The thing that I'll say is one precursor is 2025 is completely sold out. The only exception is we got a bigger boat than we expected for our November BVI trip. So we're going to the BVI November 10th through the 15th, and we have one spot for one solo female traveler. So if that is you, let us know. We're happy to see if that spot is a good fit. But otherwise, everything is sold out for 2025, and we're ready to tell you what's on the lineup for 2026. And then, as Emily said, we got a couple of special offers for you at the end. So I'm just going to read these off.
What if we just say the locations first and then get into the dates?
Okay, I'll say the month and the location.
Okay.
Then we'll get specific. Yeah. January 2026, British Virgin Islands. We're actually going twice, at the beginning and the end of the month. February 2026, also the British Virgin Islands. There's going to be lots of chances to sail there.
People love it. It's like the sailing capital of the world.
It is a great spot. That's where Emily and I got certified. So that's January and February. March, French Polynesia. Woo-hoo. If you've ever heard of Bora Bora, that's where we're going. So March is French Polynesia. And then April, we're going to go to the Bahamas. Bahamas, for those of you that know. Okay, May, we're not going anywhere. Our daughter Lily is graduating from high school. It's all the final end of the year concerts and stuff like that. So we're not doing any trips in May. But June, we're going to be in Italy. We're going to sail the Bay of Naples. We're going to come back to that. July, Greece. August, Croatia. September, Norway. Woo! Bring it up for Scandinavia. Later in September, we're going to be in Italy as well in September. October, we'll be back in Greece. That's the shoulder season for the Mediterranean. And then November, back to the Bahamas, different part of the Bahamas. And then December, we're back in the British Virgin Islands. So that is the rundown for the year. And now we're going to go with specific dates, and we're going to talk a little bit about why we love each destination. Is there
Yeah.
anything else you want to add
Yes.
before
No.
we dive
Just
into it?
these are some fan favorites. You're hearing some of the same locations multiple times because that is where so many of you have told us that you want to go, and so we want to help you get there. And yeah, let's start at the top.
Well, I'll also say this. We only go back to places that we have thoroughly enjoyed. And we've sailed all of these places with the exception of Norway, which I'm so excited about. And it's just we follow the good weather. Lots of people ask me, is it going to be nice? Can I go swimming in January in the BVI? Yes.
Yes.
It's like 85 degrees during the day. It's 75 at night. It's perfect. So we follow the good weather. We're going to each of these places when the weather is at its best. Mm-hmm. So you can trust that, the odds are as good as possible for good weather. So starting from the top, January 5th through the 10th and January 26th through the 31st, that's when we'll be in the British Virgin Islands. I'll tell you what I love about the Virgin Islands. First of all, it's pretty easy to get to from the United States. You're not doing a long haul transcontinental flight or international flight across the transatlantic. That's what I meant to say. So short flights to get there, and the sailing is superb. There's fantastic snorkeling, warm water. There is these mountainous islands. There's also a couple of flat, sandy beach, long sandy beach type spit islands that we love to go to, and it's really convenient in the sense of everyone speaks English. They use the dollar. The only thing that feels kind of foreign is you drive on the left side of the road if you're driving a car. But other than that, sailing the BVI is one of our favorite places. Emily and I have been going there since 2012. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, I want to say some things that I love about the BVI as well. There are plenty of spots where you can go and feel like you're in the local population. They have great restaurants. The water is so beautiful. I love in the BVI, one of the reasons it is called the sailing capital of the world is because everything is what we call line of sight sailing. Almost everything. There's one island that's an exception, which basically means from where you are on your boat, you can kind of say, we want to go to that island and then sail there. You can see like everything's pretty close together. It's pretty protected. The sailing is just really comfortable. You're not doing a lot of coming against the current. And anyway, yeah, it's really nice. And you can also, one of I love is it feels like such a playground to me. There's great snorkeling, which I love snorkeling. And there are some islands that you can go to that just feel like really like a playground that you can just scamper around on or through, where the rocks and the water are just kind of interplayed. And then there are other ones you can go to and feel like I'm maybe one of 10 people who's ever been here because they feel like so untouched. And so you get a great variety, and you never have to go very far. I don't think, even if you want to go to the farthest away island, it's just like a beautiful half day sail. So anyway, British Virgin Islands, that's where we learned how to sail catamarans, and it's just dreamy.
And I'm going to second everything that Emily has said. And just so you know, these January, February trips are our lowest price trips for the year. They start at $34.50, and prices build from there up throughout the year. The med trips are a little bit more because they're a little bit longer, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But just so you know, so you can kind of gauge price-wise, you have a sense of where these kick off. So that's anything else on the British Virgin Islands before we jump?
We could go on, but I think that gives the idea.
Yeah. Hit us up. So we, if any of these trips sound good to you, just go to our website, schedule a call with us. We talk with everybody, unless we know you personally already, in case you can call, text, or email us. But if we haven't met, just, sign up for a time. We just want to meet face to face and make sure we're all a good fit. And then we can get you signed up for one of these trips. So, yeah, so that's January, February, March.
Did you say the February dates? February 16th.
Sorry. February. So yeah, January, we're there January 5th through the 10th. And again, at the end of the month, the 26th through the 31st. And we're going for a third time, February 16th through the 21st.
Kicking off the new year right.
Yeah. Or, you can kind of like surprise your special someone with a Valentine's gift of, hey, by the way, we're going to the BVI tomorrow. Something like that. Okay, March, French Polynesia. Emily and I first sailed in French Polynesia in 2017. It is on every screensaver, travel calendar.
Travel magazine.
It's just an incredible place, Bora Bora. And I'll be honest, it's our most expensive trip. And for a reason, we're going to fly. You fly to Tahiti, and you get a hopper flight from there over to an island called Raiatea. And that's where we'll pick up our boat. This is our only one-way trip. We will pick up our boat in Raiatea, and we will sail past Taha'a and out to Bora Bora, and we'll spend the rest of the time out by Bora Bora, and we'll fly home from Bora Bora. So
I haven't been, obviously, since before COVID, but what happened there was so magical. It's just an incredibly beautiful place. There's beautiful reefs, there's beautiful sea, marine life. Bora Bora is so stunning, how it comes up with its peaks out of the water. The water is beautiful. This place felt quiet to me, even though, obviously people love to go there. And we did some excellent snorkeling. And we went on Taha. We went on that little island, which was such a fun excursion. And they had like a vanilla, I don't know if it's at a farm,
vanilla bean
like
plantation.
a vanilla orchard,
but
it's just like all these trees with the vanilla, and you can take a tour and see how the vanilla grows and buy your own vanilla. And I think we just had a great time in these, what feel very remote locations, and meeting the people. And I think we got like bicycled around Bora Bora. And it was just magical. The last thing I remember is going to a restaurant that had, the floor was all sand. And I love that. I love just being barefoot anywhere. And we just like come into the restaurant, super gorgeous food, all this fresh seafood, if that's what you're into. Other options if it isn't, but then just sitting at a table with our little lantern and having our feet in the sand. I just thought it was the best. I really, really loved that trip.
For those musical theater nerds out there, in the musical South Pacific, there's a character called Bloody Mary, and the restaurant is called Bloody Mary's we went to. And so
also the paddleboarding was incredible out there.
It's the biggest, most beautiful lagoon I've ever seen in my life. Just a big ring around Bora Bora, and there's just 360 cool, beautiful, amazing stuff to explore there.
Yeah. So
all right,
I'm excited about that one.
Yeah. And that, just real quick before we move off of Bora Bora, that if you ever see these kind of like bungalows that are built out over the water, that you kind of like with pathways that walk between them, that's Bora Bora, and they're super expensive. I've never stayed in one, but
cheaper to stay on a boat.
But if you want to tack on a couple of days at the end of the trip and stay in one of those, that's where you would do that.
And that trip, March 8th through the 14th.
March 8th through the 14th is French Polynesia, starting in Raiatea and ending in Bora Bora.
So cool.
Okay, Bahamas, April 13th through the 18th. We are going to the Bahamas, and we've been to the Bahamas many times. We're going to a new area. It's called the Abacos Islands. It's the northern area, and we're going to sail out of a place called Marsh Harbor. And one of the things that I like about this part of the Bahamas is we normally will go to the Exumas, and you have to do a bit of a crossing to get there. Marsh Harbor, everything's very close, similar to the British Virgin Islands. And so I've sailed in the Bahamas plenty. The things that I love about the Bahamas are the water is super shallow. It never gets more than 30 feet deep. And the things that I love about that are that it's beautiful sailing. It's just big, huge expanses of turquoise water, and anchoring is super easy. The main challenge for me as the captain is avoiding shallow spots, whether it's sandbars or shallow rocks. But otherwise, it's fantastic wind and beautiful conditions, incredible sea life. And we're excited to discover this new corner of the Bahamas that we haven't been to before.
Yeah, and You have navigational tools to help you avoid rocks, so that hasn't really been a big issue.
Yeah, you just got to be heads up. And
and you can see through the water. So
something special about this trip is there's only space for 6 people. It's a little bit of a more exclusive trip, but 6 people in the Bahamas, the Abacos, April 13th through the 18th. Anything that you want to add there?
I have never been to the Abacos, but I do love the Bahamas. If you ask our daughter Lily, when we lived on a sailboat for a year, what was her favorite place, and she loved the Bahamas. It was just bathtub warm water. She could just kind of flop off the boat and be swimming. There's no refreshing feeling or a period of adjustment. And then you can just kind of swim for a bit and then walk up into the sandy beaches are gorgeous.
Okay, so that is April. We're going to skip over May, like I said. June, we're going to be in Italy. We went to Italy this past year and it was fabulous. We're going back. It's June 6th through the 13th. You can fly into and out of Naples or Rome. They're close enough that you can fly to Rome and take the train down. That's what I did this last time, but some of our group flew straight into Naples. Naples is right next to Mount Vesuvius and Pompeii, if you're familiar with the ancient volcano and the city that got buried by ash.
Yeah, if you ever went to elementary school, you've probably heard of it.
Exactly. And so we'll sail out of the Naples area and we'll go to some islands that you may have heard of. Capri, very famous, sort of a Roman hotspot.
Right, they say Capri.
Capri. Yeah. If you ever heard of Capri Pants or Capri Sun, named after this island, but if you're in Italy, you'll want to pronounce it Capri.
Yeah.
And then we'll head down. I'll just tell you some spots that we'll likely sail to, but the order might change. We'll likely sail down the Amalfi Coast to Positano, and the town of Amalfi itself are places that we hit this last trip. Beautiful, excellent gelato, historic seaside. You see those villages that sort of climb up the side of the hill, all the pastel colors. This is that part of Italy. It's fantastic. Another thing that I will say is things that it's not like the water is still beautiful and clean. It's not like the turquoise that you'll get in the Bahamas or the Virgin Islands. It's more of like a deep kind of, I want to say Mediterranean blue.
It is. That is what they call it.
They call it
Mediterranean blue for a reason.
Beautiful Mediterranean blue.
Maybe kind of like your glasses if you watch this on the YouTube video.
Yeah, right here. This is more rich in culture, history, architecture, and food. There is some beautiful sea life, but not as much as the Bahamas and the Caribbean. And so it's a lot. We're on land a lot. We can go for hikes and rent bikes and things like that. And fantastic Italian food, obviously.
Well, if you go to Capri, they have the Blue Grotto.
That's true. Yeah, you don't get to swim in the Blue Grotto, but if you look it up, it's a beautiful spot to check out. It's kind of a cave that gets lit from underneath, and all the water is sort of this luminescent blue. It's pretty magical. So that's Naples, Italy, June 6th through the 13th. Anything else you want to add there?
Yeah, I mean, great food. So
yeah. Did I say gelato enough times?
Yeah, I really think it's like you won't even really notice the other food because you're just always hunting for your next gelato. Oh, and lemons. Everything lemon.
Lots of lemons. We did a hike called the Path of the Lemons, I think, or the Lemon Way. I think it's anyway. There's lots of lemons. Okay, so that's June. July 11th through the 18th, we're going to be in Greece, sailing in and out of Athens. And so
you fly into Athens and
fly into Athens.
Your marina.
Yeah, the marina is right there. It's actually in a town called Piraeus, which is sort of a suburb of Athens. It's the main port where all the cruise ships come in and out of Greece, or Athens rather. And we will be sailing down through the Saronic Islands, which are straight south of Athens. People often ask, are we going to go to Santorini or Mykonos? No. You can go to those islands, but we're not going to sail there. It's too far. And quite frankly, it's a little bit too crowded for sailboats. So if you want to see Santorini or Mykonos, book a couple days before or after the sailing trip. You can take a ferry or a short flight. Definitely see them. That's what a handful of people did on these last year's trips. And I've still not been to those islands, so I can't say anything from personal experience, but they had a blast. And we will sail south into the Saronic Gulf, and we'll probably hit towns like Poros and Hydra have been some favorites that I'm sure we'll go back to. We went to the amphitheater of Epidavros, which is the world's best preserved Greek amphitheater. So those are all things that are on the hit list. And of course, there's delicious Greek food, and the sailing is just fun, and it's just warm, sunny, and we're in the water a lot, and there's chances to rent scooters or ATVs and stuff and just drive around some of the islands. And so it's pretty delightful.
And I'll say, having not been to all of the places, but definitely having spent a lot of time in Piraeus, that suburb of Athens, I just love this place. I loved sailing there, and I actually love the food even better than in Italy. So this Greece is always my favorite place. Italy. My favorite place for food. I love the Greek yogurt. I love all of the different. They have so many different versions of like feta cheese, and the meats are. But I just think it's all so delicious, and I had some of the best food of my life when we were when we were in Piraeus, when we were in Athens. I love also the, all of the ancient ruins and things that are there too. It was probably, of all the places we've ever been, I geeked out the most in Athens. So anyway, for me, it was like life highlight going there, one of my favorite trips for everything that we saw and for everything that we ate.
All the things, multifaceted trip. Okay. All right. So that is July. Croatia. We just got back from Croatia 3 weeks ago.
We did a whole episode about it.
We did a whole episode of it. And so, as we said on the episode, it's like Italy and Greece had a baby and they called it Croatia. Croatia is right in between them on the Adriatic Sea.
Except the baby has some of the world's most gorgeous waterfalls. Like, good food, beautiful sailing. Croatia is an amazing time. If you're feeling like, I want to go somewhere I haven't heard too much about, Croatia will delight.
Yeah, it's right across the Adriatic Sea from Italy, so you can cut straight across. And so the weather is very similar, and the landscape is very similar. It's covered with this beautiful limestone rock. It's cliffy and stony, and they have fantastic islands. And like Emily said, some of the world's most beautiful waterfalls, and you can see them inland or you can see them closer to the coast. Emily and I personally went to both, but with the sailing group, we took them to the ones that are right by the water. And the sailing is fantastic. Another thing I need to mention about the Mediterranean trips, they are all Saturday to Saturday. So we get on the boat Saturday evening, we sail the rest of the week, and we return the following Saturday in the morning. So they're 2 days longer than our BVI and Bahama trips. So anyway, Croatia, also, I like the food there a lot. Mm-hmm. It's
delicious.
It's delicious. I won't get into the details of it, but it's great. The sailing is fantastic. The water is super crystal clear.
People were really friendly everywhere. We could speak English. We didn't have any trouble with that. And it is such a good smattering of, like, they have Roman ruins, they have medieval cities, they have, they've been around just as long as all these other countries, and some of theirs are just really well preserved because they haven't had as many tourists over these last many decades. And so we saw just gorgeous vistas, and we had a great time.
Yeah. So that's Croatia, August 1st through 8th. Then in September, we are doing something we've never tried before. We're going to go to Norway, and we're going to sail into an area called Lofoten, and it's in northern Norway. It's a beautiful place. In the summertime, it's nice. And so if you're worried about hot weather, but you still want to go somewhere warm, the temperatures during the summer in the day will get up to the mid to low 70s. Very comfortable. The water is going to be crisp. Refreshing. And so still very swimmable. I have not been there since my childhood, but to this area I've never been. I've been to southern Norway as a kid, but you can still go swimming, but it's going to be a nice cool sail. all of our trips are catamarans. This is the one trip that's going to be a monohull. We're actually partnering with a local company, and we're going to go out with a local skipper, and he's going to kind of teach me the area. And for that reason, it's going to be a monohull, meaning one of those long, skinny boats that you think of when you typically think of a sailboat, as opposed to a double wide catamaran. And on this trip, there are also only 6 spots. So if you want to go to Norway, it's going to be beautiful, kind of fjords, lush green hills that we can hike and climb.
Bright red farmhouses, just green.
And, build a fire on the beach and do some swimming. And anyway, so you'd fly into Oslo to get there, or you would take a connector flight. I don't know how to say this. Svolvær, Svolvaer, but that's where we'll pick up our boat. But you can fly into Oslo and get there any number of ways, by ferry, by short flight. If you want to get a car and drive around, I'm sure there's a way to drive there. If you want to do some exploring beforehand.
So that's kind of our only non-tropical really location.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I'd say Croatia is tropical, but like warm
and beachy.
Yeah, it'll be summery, and Norway is definitely warm. You can still wear swimsuits and get in the water, but they assure me that the boats are very warm. They serve good, hearty food. I mean, we'll be doing our own menu, but they have everything we need to be comfortable and warm when we want to be in Norway. So pretty pumped about that. Later in September, the week after, we're going to be in. September. I'll also say Norway is the only other week. It's the only trip that starts midweek and ends midweek. I think it's Thursday to Thursday. You guys can look at your calendars and let me know. September 3rd, but 3rd through the 10th. And then September 12th through the 19th, we're back in Italy doing the Naples trip again. So we've already talked about that, but that's kind of mid to late September. Greece, October 10th through the 17th, again in and out of Athens.
Back to the Bahamas.
And then back to the Bahamas and the Virgin Islands. We wrap up the year, Virgin Islands, December 7th through the 12th.
And the Bahamas again in November was the 9th through the 14th.
Thank you. Yeah. So November 9th through the 14th, Bahamas. Difference here is that we're going to sail out of Nassau and we're going to go to the Exuma Islands. And so you'd fly into Nassau, we'll get the boat, and then we'll do the crossing out to the Exumas, which are fantastic. And we'll sail down the Exuma chain and then back. And then, so you'd fly into Nassau and British Virgin Islands. For any of our trips, you can fly into St. Thomas and then take the ferry over to Tortola. That's the British side where we pick up the boat. Or you can fly directly to the British side to what's called Beef Island. They used to graze and the cattle there, and so that's why they call it Beef Island. Are there anywhere I didn't mention the airport for people that want to look at air flights?
I guess.
Let me just recap.
The British Virgin Islands, it's St. Thomas or Beef Island.
BVI, it's St. Thomas or Beef Island. French Polynesia, you'd fly into Raiatea, connecting through Tahiti, and you'd fly out of Bora Bora.
Tahiti, connecting to Raiatea.
You fly to Tahiti, get a hopper to Raiatea, and then you'd fly out of Bora Bora. For the Bahamas, in April, you'd fly into Marsh Harbor, airport code MHH. For Italy, in June, you'd fly into Naples or to Rome and then take the train down to Naples. For Greece, in July, you'd fly in and out of Athens. For Croatia, you'd fly in and out of Split, or Split, as they say there. And for Norway, you'd fly into Oslo, but somehow you'd have to get over to Svolvær, either short flight, ferry, or driving. Italy in September, again, Naples or Rome. Greece in October is the same, Athens. Bahamas in November, again, Nassau, different part of the Bahamas, because we're going to sail the Exuma Islands, so fly into Nassau. And then British Virgin Islands in December, you've got the rundown there, St. Thomas or Beef Island.
Oh, the logistics. One of the things that is so important about the logistics is what makes it happen. That is what turns it from just dreaming about something or thinking, oh, maybe someday I do this, to say, I'm actually going to French Polynesia March 8th through 14th of 2026. Now it's real. Now it's a place and a date. Now it's something you can put on your calendar and make space around, anticipate, look forward to, plan on, tell your friends that you're making this space, or invite them to come as well. Although on that trip, we can only take 6 people, so act fast. But anyway, we talked at the beginning about how we all love to have these dreams, but life gets in, right in our face. And we always think, well, when things settle down,
or my mother-in-law is not sick anymore.
Yeah, the situation will improve, something will get better, and then I'll be ready to go. Well, adventures don't happen by accident. They happen when you claim a spot in your life by getting it on your calendar. So hopefully, if some of these locations or dates are calling out to you, you will not delay in nabbing your spot. We already have booking. We have some booked out 16 months in advance. And can I tell that story? Yeah.
So there's a couple that has already put down a deposit, because the people that jump on Captain One-on-One calls with me, they already know the lineup. We just haven't sort of shared it more publicly until now.
Yeah, it's on our email.
But people that are partially on our email, but this is the first time we're announcing the full 2026 lineup. So there's a couple that got on a call with me, and they wanted to do a river trip in Europe over the summer, and they hummed and hawed about it and finally pulled the trigger and are doing it, but they didn't get the dates that they preferred because that boat sold out. So they're still going on that. So when they knew that they wanted to go to the Virgin Islands and they wanted to go the end of 2026, they put down a deposit just because they knew that boats fill up, trips sell out. And if you want to go and you know that the dates work for you, the deposit holds your spot. And so believe it or not, we already have a deposit for the end of 2026. And so if there is a trip that you want, it's a 20% deposit to hold your spot. Just so you know that. You can do that credit card or bank payment, however you want. And then the balance is due 90 days before we go. We might expand that. We might increase our deposits to 25%. We might expand our timeline. Like you might have to have it in 120 days before. But for now, it's 20% and 90 days.
Well, since we're talking about the money, you had a little something special for our listeners.
Yes, let's talk about that. We also like to reward people who take action. We are big believers in encouraging, what's the word that I want to look for?
I usually can read his mind, but you're catching me in
initiative.
A blink moment.
People who take initiative, we like to reward that. So if you are a person that's ready to take some initiative, if you book your trip with us before Thanksgiving,
these are going to be trips.
Sorry, all trips February. Starting with March and beyond. Because also I should clarify, the January 5 through 10 trip only has one cabin left and a spot for solo travelers, one female, one male. So that one is half sold, or more than half sold. The British Virgin Islands, the end of January, we have 2 cabins left. And then the one in February has a little bit more space. But the January trips are already almost full. So if you know that's one that you want to hop on, there are lowest price trips for the year. And February as well.
But so, from March forward, we'll call this like March Madness, I guess. Like from March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December.
If you put down a deposit by the end of the day, Thanksgiving, you will get, if you book 2 spots, meaning 2 people in one cabin, you'll get a $500 flight credit from us, cash that you can put towards purchasing your flight. If you book 2 trips with us, meaning 2 separate boats, and 2 spots each. So if you say, I want to go to the BVI in February, and then I want to go to Greece in October.
If you book like the full cabin.
And you book 2 cabin, or 2 spots, 1 full cabin for one, and then another full cabin for the other, you'll get a $1,500 flight credit to put towards your airfare. So it doesn't matter which trip, as long as it's from March onward. You can still come on our January and February trips. Just know that the flight credit offer is good through the end of Thanksgiving Day. I'll say midnight or 11:59 that day. And if you put your deposit down, you'll get $500 for double occupancy booking for one trip. And if you book 2 trips, you get a $1,500 flight credit.
Yeah, 2 trips, full cabin. Yep.
So that's that I didn't cover?
That's a fun offer. I think that's great. Okay. That's our 2026
lineup.
That's our lineup. Those are the destinations and those are the dates and those are the deals.
And I want to say, if you want to come on one of these trips, what do you do? How do you get in touch with us?
Oh.
You can email us at hello@theawesomefactory.nyc. You can email us directly. We will see that and we will respond.
Get on our email list from our website.
Yep. You can go to our website and get on our email list. You can also go to our website and just click the button that I think it says sail with us, but just schedule a time and talk with us and we'll answer all your questions. We'll make sure we're a good fit for you and you for us, and that, we answer all your questions, and then we can let you know how to make the deposits. And you can also reach out to us on social media. We're on Instagram at The Awesome Factory NYC, and we're also on Facebook at The Awesome Factory NYC. Anyway, get in touch with us. We'll talk. We'll answer your questions. We'll get you the link. You can send in your deposit, and you can give yourself what we call the gift of anticipation. The gift of anticipation. Do you want to talk about that for a second?
But there's just these studies that show, like, sometimes the best part of your travel is that looking forward to, like, I'm here doing this thing that isn't my favorite or whatever, but I have this thing that I'm looking forward to. And if you're traveling with someone that you're in a relationship with, whether it's a spouse or a child or a friend, it actually strengthens that relationship as you're moving through that time, looking forward to this thing together. Oh, I got these water shoes because we're going to be walking the pebble beaches of Croatia together. Oh, and whatever. Well, this time, 2 months from now, we'll be in Italy or whatever it is. And it actually strengthens the relationship and keeps things on a positive note, just because you're looking forward to this fun thing that you have planned together. So anyway, the gift of anticipation is a real thing. And we recognize some people like to plan last minute. That's great too. If you're someone who likes to plan ahead, you get this bonus gift of anticipation. And I would say with these trips, it's not just about the location that you go to. It really is about the things that you're going to discover about yourself in each unique location. And every trip is a trip like no other.
It's magical. Mm-hmm. Because the people on the trip are different. We have various boats that we sail, and every week is unique. It has its own unique fingerprint. Anything else you want to say before we wrap up, my love?
I just want to reiterate that the most direct route to move forward on this is to go to our website, theawesomefactory.nyc, as in New York City, and click on the red buttons, sail with us, and you'll be able to schedule an appointment to talk with someone who can answer all your questions about it. And so hopefully tonight you'll, instead of saying, oh, maybe someday, or that sounds cool, but it's just not a good time, maybe you'll take 5 minutes to just dream a little bit and look at the 2026 calendar and ask yourself, what kind of adventure, which adventure is calling to you? And even that little small shift will help, because, when you start asking what could go right, that is when life opens up.